What's up, you guys? My name's Anthony Martin. We're here with Miss Ana Arrieta, and we're here at.
La Valija Vasca.
So, welcome to Ant's Upstarts. So, let's take a look inside. All right, you guys. So, we're here with Miss Arrieta, and we're going to answer all of your burning questions and desires that I know that you have. So, the first question that I have for you is really how you got your career started in teaching and what really drew you.
Well, your heart's gonna be broken with this one, but I did not initially want to be a teacher. It's something that I fell into because I was working in the entertainment industry, and I had two very young children as well as a teenager at the time, and it was just for me to be able to make it in that industry, I had to be probably about 20 years younger than I was. There was a lot of deadlines that was 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's start rendering this video. So, and I knew I was really good at teaching. My house was always the one where all the teenagers wanted to be at. I was the secondary mom to numerous kids at the time. And through alternative certification in Arizona, when I was where I was living at the time, you could, if you had been in your studied industry for a certain amount of years, you could actually do certain classes in education, certain classes that taught you the basics of educating teenagers specifically, and you could teach them what your business was. And my business was the business of computer animation and game design. So there was a really, really big one for that type of education.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. I didn't know that you could even get into education and teaching without obviously going to school and your degree and all that stuff. So how did you even, I guess, from that point get to being able to become a teacher? Because I know if people are listening right now, their heads already spinning like, well, I don't have to go to school, or like, well, what is it? So I just want a little bit more insight.
So under the Department of Education for Texas, there is a certain amount of classes. Oh, I gotta,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a certain amount of classes for Texas children that fall under something called CTE. CTE stands for Career Technical Education, and these are supposed to be classes that are not your traditional English, math, science, history. And it is for teaching children or young adults that there is other things out there other than the 4-year degree that you have to, I don't know, have 4 years of math and so on and so forth, because that type of education is not for everybody. So Texas came up with these classes that are, in a way, technical classes, and they teach you about the other things that are not traditional for your teaching things,
Yeah. Wow. I know everyone on the opposite side of the camera is mind blown right now because I am. I had no idea. So thank you for sharing that with us. It's very informative.
Yeah, because of what I studied, I was able to get CTE certification in business, in technical education for digital arts, for video, and for photography and graphic design. And then because I had those, I was able to also test for traditional art. So I am certified right now to teach business, technology education, and art. One.
Absolutely. Okay. Man. Well, so with that being said, with you being a teacher, if you don't mind me asking, how long were you a teacher for? And then do you have a memorable moment that that will always stick out to you that you'll never forget as a teacher, whether that's, impacting a student's life or just something that's funny or something that you just will always remember?
Well, as far as a memorable moment, I have several. And one of the best things that I really, really am proud of is when I see a student that comes back and says, like, while I was at your class, it kind of opened up my mind to whether it's graphic arts, photography, or animation, and I decided to go that route. So that to me is the most impactful thing. I was a teacher for all in all 17 years, and that's not counting the 6 years that I was a preschool teacher. So I'm going only by my high school teaching experience and middle school teaching experience. I started out in Arizona teaching at a school that was a charter school that was for teen moms and for young men that were coming off of the correctional institutions. So that was incredibly, incredibly fulfilling as a teacher because I still have really, really good connections. This is what's before you were not allowed to contact students in Facebook. All right. So I am still friends with some of these students through Facebook, and it is so, so good to see. There's one in particular. She was at our school. She had a little 1-year-old baby. She was 16 at the time, and she has gone on to great things. Her daughter is now 17 years old. So it's very, very good to see these children that at times, because, teen moms have a really, really hard time finishing school, going on to becoming professionals and so on and so forth, because children are such a time investment for a mom and a dad, So when I look at these girls and these boys that sometimes people just, oh, well, whatever, that's another teen mom. And when I see them succeed, that to me is the most fulfilling part of what I've done as a teacher.
Yeah. Well, I think that's amazing because, so a lot of people don't know, but my mom also.
Oh, wow.
So she walked the stage while I was in her side. Wow. And so now she's the regional manager for a really, really big apartment complex.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, of course, I've seen everything. So I've seen it from where we were living before to where we're living now, and what she was doing before to what she's doing now.
Yeah.
And just even like the non-traditional education that you're talking about is really what drove her and what got her to where she is today. Mm-hmm. And so for her and for me, firstly, we just want to say thank you. And thank you to all the teachers out there, because without you guys, I just want you guys to know everything that you guys do, it matters. No matter what you're teaching, you're going to impact a student in some way that will affect for years to come. So I also wanted you to know that, but I wanted to tell all my teachers who are watching or aspiring teachers, it works. So those hard days are, these kids don't listen to anything I'm saying. Like, why am I here? It pays off. And I'm sure after 17 years, you've seen it 10, 20, 30 times over. And again, just thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I think teenagers in particular are a population that have such a difficult part of their life happening in front of them. And we ask so much of them, and we really don't give them enough, So, yeah.
Well, you did your part. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks.
So from being a teacher, so now you transitioned into this beautiful boutique. So I want to know, kind of, from you being a teacher, how did you, I guess, get here to all this? And you told me off camera you had a great weekend last weekend.
Yes, we did.
So you guys were very busy here. You did really well. So how did you, I guess, what was point A, or from point A to point B?
All right. So point A was I had been putting up my artwork at this particular shop for about a year. To this day, I do traditional art, not just digital art, and it's one of those things that's very therapeutic for me. And I was bringing my paintings here so that the lady that owned the shop could hang them up and sell them. The money wasn't the thing. It was I was working at a room. I had all these paintings because whenever I would get frustrated at work, and by the way, I never got frustrated with the students, just so you know. Maybe. Sometimes. But so I would bring my paintings over here, and it just happened by happenstance that she was also working full time. She was a postal worker, and she was tired. 24/7, working here, working there. And she decided that it was time for her to give up the store. And I said, like, well, before you close it and put everything up for sale and run away from Texas, let me see what my finances are. Because I really, really love this property, and I really, really love the shop. It's very eclectic. It's very open to people's ideas. It was everything that I liked in a shop. So I said, like, so let me see what my finances look like, and I would like to buy it from him. And for the entire last year of me teaching, I was doing double duty. I would be at school during the week, and then during the weekends, I would run the store. And then, there was a lot of things going on. My dad died in the pandemic. I had to run off to Puerto Rico. I was involved in a motorcycle accident. I don't know if you know this, but I ride a motorcycle. And it was one of those things. I still love teaching, but I was starting to have to carry little cards about what I was going to say because I had a brain injury. And so I decided, okay, I have enough time in teaching that I can retire early. So let's see what happens. And I jumped off the cliff, and here I am. I guess I had a parachute at the time.
You didn't even know. Yeah. Pretty good parachute, too.
Yeah.
Man. So I guess what I want to know, because I'm an entrepreneur as well, and to me, this is definitely classified as being an entrepreneur. What did you take anything from your teaching experience and kind of translate it over to now being a full-time business?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that you learn very, very well as a teacher is that you have to think on your feet. You have to think fast, and you can never, ever, ever take anything personal. All right? So that has helped a lot, especially when it comes to customer service, with meeting what the customer wants and what they need and all of that stuff. So that was all covered by teaching. However, because I had a business background of writing business plans, figuring out what needs to happen, that helped very, very much as well. As you very well know, there are a lot of things that happen behind the beautiful stage of your business that you pretty much don't know about it until you fall into it.
Yes.
So, also my digital graphic was a perfect thing for my marketing. I love social media. I think that people that hate social media, they're not looking at it in the correct way. And
So that last point, for a very, very long time, I didn't like social media.
Mm-hmm.
Now that, of course, I have my podcast, real estate, and I have all these other businesses and all the other things that I'm doing, I understand the importance of it now and so how to utilize it in the correct way and just use it as a platform to engage with more people.
Absolutely.
Reach out to more people. Because before, whenever because I'm 26 now, so I was 17, 18, I was like, dude, I'm just seeing people post pictures of them. So I want to see this.
Yeah.
And so it very much felt like people are just taking such a deep dive into your life and you're just posting everything. This. And that was, I've never been like that.
Yeah.
Just even in real life. Like, I don't like showing all my cards and all that. But like you said, now I understand the importance of it, and you can touch and reach so many people, no matter what you're doing, whether you're running a business or you're trying to, well, my girlfriend will see this after, but I asked for a personal chef for my anniversary.
Okay.
So just by posting it, multiple people messaged me, hey, oh yeah, I have this person.
Absolutely.
And so without that, I never would have been able, I would have been on Google all day, just trying to search, like, well, is he good? I don't know. And it's just more, it's just so much, I think I grew a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more helpful for me now.
Well, and it also shows you the importance of having a business account for social media and having a personal account and keeping them as separate as humanly possible. As a teacher, I had learned that a very, very long time ago. There are clauses for personal conduct that, of course, you don't want to have, you don't want to have your teacher posting on social media that she's out having drinks with friends and blah, blah, blah. Because as a teacher, you are an example for your students. And although I believe in being, very, very frank and open, and I don't think that the choices that as an adult I personally do should be what a student looks at, I also think that that's not what I'm there for. So as a professional, that should be kept out of the access of, and I mean, you've seen it, you are 26, so you don't know all the time when there was no social media. You don't know what it was like before everything you did was scrutinized by cell phones and, people, the camera in the sky looking at you. So everything that you do is curated by social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this is my last question for you.
Okay.
So with all of this, do you have any next steps, next goals? Or are you feel like, okay, I made it. Like, I'm good.
I have thought about this before. This is where I'm comfortable at.
Yeah.
This is, for now, I've always believed that life is change, so things will always change. If you don't change, it's because you're 6 feet under. So, and even then you change. Sorry, I'm being gory. But for now, this is where I'm at, and I'm happy being here.
That's good. Well, and I even preach to all my followers and even on my podcast, always and forever, if you don't do anything else, do what makes you happy.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, no one's going to make you happy but yourself.
Right.
So you have to do what you have to do. And I'm attesting to that. You're obviously now a testament to that, because I've been through, my parents were military, and this is what I'm going to leave it off with. They were in the military. So I either had to go to college, join ROTC, or I had to join the military. And so there weren't really many other options.
Nope.
And so I was kind of like, well, I want to try this, or I want to do this. And initially, there wasn't very much support in the sense
Right.
of like, well, that's not the traditional route.
Right. Right.
And so now that, of course, I'm in the position that I am, a lot more people are a lot more like, oh, wow, so how did you do it? Or, oh, wow, that's really nice. I need to do it.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that you would have achieved what you have achieved earlier if you had a group of people that were more supportive of your non-traditional views and your non-traditional path?
I've thought about this question a lot too. So my short answer is yes.
All right.
Just because even straight out of high school, I knew, I was like, well, I want to be in business. I want to be a business owner. I didn't know any business.
Right.
I didn't know the first thing about going into business and doing that. And of course, I'm 18. Most 18-year-olds, you're not just going to jump off the cliff and be like, all right, let's see what happens, Especially coming from a military background.
Absolutely.
I was very much like, I don't know, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so now that I met all the people who I've met now, and man, if I would have met you guys before, man, I'd be so much further along. But with that being said, I think I am where I am now because of all the choices that
Absolutely.
everything that I went through, I was supposed to go through to put me in this seat today talking to you.
Absolutely.
So the short answer is yes, but I think what I did will help me way longer in the long run because I went through all that stuff.
Yes.
And I learned all of that, and it made me stronger mentally, emotionally, physically, the whole nine. And so I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade the experience for the world. But I think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I love where I am the same way as you. But that's all that I have today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll be sure to tag her all of her social medias for everything. And also be sure to come check out her boutique. What is the name of your boutique?
La Valija Vasca.
Please come check us out. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good rest of your day.